What's up, guys? I'm Breck and Do It Better, and welcome back to my channel. I haven't been here in a while. I guess it's been about 2 months since I did a video, and the last video I did was my date night and my self-care night. So I'm happy to be back, and as you can see, I am about 33 pounds lighter. Yes, 33 pounds lighter. This has definitely been a journey. Oh my gosh, what a journey it has been. So if you had a chance to tune into my last video, then you know that I actually started taking the semaglutide injections back in April, May. I want to say May, honestly. So I don't know if I went into detail at all on my last video, but I'll break it down here. So I started doing the semaglutide injections back in May. Initially, I think I was supposed to take about 12 units a week or something like that, but I'm one of those people that need to test it out in smaller doses before going full throttle. So what I did was, instead of doing the 12 units, I ended up doing half of that, which was probably like 6 or 5, something like that. And I'm saying half of that probably because of the needles that I use. It's really hard to gauge, but anyway, so I started out in super small doses, which is why I can't really count the weeks. I guess the 2 weeks in April that I actually did, because I did not do what I was supposed to do, meaning like I didn't follow the directions of starting with 12 units. I really started probably like 3, then I went 6, and then I went 8, and then I worked my way up to 12. During those little times that I was titrating up, I didn't really see a substantial amount of weight loss. But once I started following directions like you should, things started to change for me. So let's see, I don't even like to say this out loud, you guys, because let me take this gum out. But when I first started my injections, I was, oh gosh, the biggest that I have ever been. And I mean ever been for me. So that was a lot. Now granted, I have been through a lot too. However, I was 199 pounds. Like, whew. Once I saw that 99, I was like, oh no, it's time. It's time. Because I kind of went back and forth with if I wanted to do the shot. I was really afraid of the side effects. And so that was one of the reasons why I kind of took a pause on actually diving right in. I was nervous. I had read all of these things about all the things that could go wrong: stomach paralysis, super acid reflux, hair falling out. It was just so many negatives, and I was like, I don't want to do this. Like, and I also felt like I could do it by myself. And I'm sure a lot of you guys are just like me, who felt like, oh, I can do it myself. I can do it myself. If I put my mind to it, I can do it. I put my mind to it so many times, you guys, and nothing was falling off. And I mean, absolutely nothing was coming off. The weight was going absolutely nowhere. Okay, absolutely nowhere. So I decided to jump in, and I started with the semaglutide. I wanted to do the tirzepatide, which is aka the Mounjaro, but my doctor suggested, let's try this first because the Mounjaro is a little bit more expensive and this might work, so let's start here. And I said, okay, cool, this is what we'll do. So my first week on the injections, I actually, when I say on the injections, I mean at full capacity, meaning taking the dose that the doctor actually prescribed. I did 12 units first week, and at the lowest dose possible, lowest strength possible. And I think I lost maybe about 4 or 5 pounds or something like that. It was water weight, not a water weight. And I noticed like my mouth was super dry. So that was one of the symptoms that I noticed right off the bat, was dry mouth and constantly urinating. Once it kicked in, and typically like if I took my shot on a Monday, it would kick in probably by like Wednesday. You can kind of feel it when it kicks in. Once it kicked in, I noticed that my appetite started to decrease. And when I say decrease, you instantly feel like this is interesting. I'm not hungry anymore. And whereas you used to could eat a full plate or something. So I used to could eat pizza. Pizza, and I say pizza because pizza is one of the things that I have not had. I haven't had pizza probably in about 6 months now. And I hadn't been eating pizza prior to the shot because I noticed like every time I would eat pizza prior to getting a shot, I would get really bad indigestion. So I just took a pause on pizza. Although pizza and tomatoes is something that I absolutely love, but I just can't do it. So you know, first, second week I noticed, oh, my appetite's getting smaller. I'm not eating as much as I used to. Because let me tell y'all something, I've never been like a super big eater, but because I'm really picky too, but over the course of the last 4 years, my appetite has changed so much. And a lot of it has been because I have been through some emotional trauma when my dad passed. Emotional trauma, well, yeah, I was pregnant when my dad passed, and I had a baby when my dad passed, and having her literally 2 days after his funeral, and just having to go through all of that while pregnant, and coming off of that after having a baby, plus postpartum, that just sent my whole life into a frenzy and an emotional frenzy. And the first thing we do when we get like that, we typically emotionally eat. So I did a lot of emotional eating, stress, plus, you know, I'm not as young as I used to be. So I had my daughter when I was 37, something like that. I had her when I was 37, and then I turned 38 a couple days later. So anyway, that plays a factor. Age plays a factor. Metabolism plays a factor. Hormones plays a factor in why I was just adding on weight, because I used to be like a person that eats relatively healthy and salads, and I've never just been overweight. Okay, now thick perhaps, but overweight, no. That's just never been my thing, because I really just never been the biggest foodie of life. Then of course I was in a relationship, and that had ups and downs, and good God, the peaks and valleys just in the roller coasters that'll send you back to emotional eating. And then when you're happy in a relationship, and then you both have these you start to mimic each other's eating habits. So I kind of mimicked his eating habits where I was eating more, but that's how I ended up being as big as I was. And that's how I ended up getting on the shot. I don't even know how I even went down that rabbit hole, but that's a little backstory of how I got to where I was. So anyway, first, second week, you notice your appetite is getting smaller. You don't like certain things anymore. So like I said, pizza was one of those things that turned me off. Instantly, fried foods turned me completely off. It's something about the semaglutide shot that it's like a switch that flips in your mind, whereas the things that you used to crave, you absolutely don't do that anymore. So I used to crave sweets, and I noticed that I'm not needing these cookies anymore, right? I don't need this late night snack anymore. Or if I did have a little snack, I'm not eating ice cream. I'm not eating everything under the sun that I used to, that just would make me just feel good. All of that stuff was like null and void. I no longer needed it. It's something that goes on in your head with the semaglutide shot. So I started losing about maybe a pound. I'm actually probably about 2 pounds a week. It's interesting because some weeks I wouldn't lose anything, and then some weeks I would go down about 2 pounds or so. And then some weeks it would be 3, some weeks it would be 1, and it really would fluctuate depending, especially if I came on my cycle. So if you do take the shot, stay off the scale. You do not need to get on it every day. I got extremely obsessed with getting on the scale, okay, like checking my weight every day, sometimes twice a day. First thing in the morning for sure, I wanted to know how much I weighed. Like I guess I'm still kind of obsessed with it. I have learned to not check it every day, but I'm definitely getting on the scale once a week to see exactly where I am. Like I am absolutely obsessed with my weight. I guess I've always been somewhat obsessed with my weight. However, I am even more so now after or as I've been on this weight loss journey. It's definitely a journey though, because you know, your body may not tolerate the shot well. You may have some side effects. Now, one thing I did not experience was the nausea. I hear a lot of people say, oh, I get nauseous, I'm not tolerating the shots. Now, I did experience the constipation, so that's where your supplements come in. So I did have to start taking the start taking the magnesium, or I would do the smooth move tea, or I would do anything that would not grate my stomach, because yes, I may have been constipated, I just could not be balled up on a toilet. Okay, I just absolutely could not do that. So the smooth move tea worked wonders, and the magnesium citrate, that actually helps a lot. I also started taking digestive enzymes while I was taking a shot, and I say while I was taking a shot because I'm no longer taking a shot right now. I have been Semaglutide free for about 5 weeks, and my eating habits have not changed. I don't know if it's going to kick in and I'm just going to be hungry as I don't know what, which I pray I don't, but I have not had much change in my appetite. But like I said, I didn't experience the nausea when I took my shot. I actually always take my shot in my hip area. I never take it in my stomach ever. So that's one of the things that I think helped me as far as consuming it without as many side effects. Yeah, so anyway, so like I was saying, your body may not tolerate it depending on where you give yourself a shot. If you are interested in doing it, try checking the alternative sites and things like that, so that you don't experience the side effects. Another thing I did before I actually started taking the shot, I joined probably about 5 Facebook groups to kind of take a deep dive on what to expect, what not to expect, what everybody was doing to combat symptoms or side effects, or just looking at results and things like that. So I did a lot of that, I want to say about maybe 4 months before I actually even took the shot, because I was so interested in taking it. Like, I knew that I wanted to lose this weight, and I knew that I knew that the shot would be one of the only ways for me to actually do it, because I wasn't coming off my own. Yes, I joined the gym. Prior to this, I joined the gym. Was I going every day? No. Did I try to go? Yes. Did I try to change my eating habits? Yes. But as I started reading and researching, and like I said, hormones playing a big factor, I started noticing, like, I wonder do I have PCOS? I wonder if I am perimenopausal, because when I tell y'all, the weight was actually going nowhere, and I was getting bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger, and in my mind I'm like, damn, am I really eating that much? It's like I cannot be eating that much, but the weight and the scale was going up. So like I said, once I hit the 199 mark, I was like, oh no, I gotta do something. Because one thing that I noticed as I got heavier, when I would just be doing absolutely nothing, I could hear myself being like this. I would have to take these deep breaths for no reason. Okay, absolutely no reason, just like. And so now, of course, I feel so much lighter. Even once I started losing like a little bit of weight, this whole thing went away. Okay, and so like I said, I did not have a lot of side effects, but I did experience some. I did not experience side effects every shot. However, I started to notice that I was getting acid reflux. And so the acid reflux is what really got me. The acid reflux started out really light, primarily because this medicine will sit you down if you eat stuff that you are not supposed to. So for instance, I already couldn't really tolerate fried foods because it would just do a number on my whole gastro system. I don't know, I would instantly start burping, belching, I would have gas, all of that stuff whenever I ate fried foods. And like I said, this medicine will let you know, this ain't for you. So I didn't experience a whole lot of upsets, but the upsets that I experienced was enough for me to be like, oh my gosh, Lord, please help me. Please let me make it through this. And I mean that. Now, like I said, mine is primarily the acid reflux. So I would notice that some nights I would wake up with a cough. And I would be like, what is going on with me? I do suffer from allergies. So I'm like, okay, well, maybe it's just my allergies, right? But it wasn't. And then I would, if I didn't wake up with a cough some nights, then I would wake up with like really thick mucus in the back of my throat. And I would think like, what is this about? I really had no clue what it was about, because I had not experienced this type of acid reflux before. So I would wake up with thick mucus and I would have to go spit, and then everything would be fine again. But what took the cake for me was I woke up, I don't know what I did entirely, but the last thing that I know set me off, oh my gosh, was I wasn't feeling well one day, and I kind of did like a 2-day soup fast or whatever to get my body back right. By that third day, I was starving like Marvin. And I took my daughter to get some chicken nuggets from McDonald's. Yeah, I know we shouldn't even be eating that. But I got a fish sandwich. I ate the fish sandwich. My daughter ate her nuggets. I even ate french fries this particular day. And mind you, I just have not been eating like crazy like this. This particular meal is what stopped me from taking the shot for 5 weeks. Okay, this is why I'm on pause. So the acid reflux got so bad that by the end of that night with the McDonald's, honey, I had acid in my throat. Okay, like my throat was burning. I kept clearing my throat. I kept trying to figure out what's going on. I could feel the mucus. I kept spitting, and I was like, what is going on? So I started taking Tums. I started taking Pepto. I started taking Nexium, because let me tell you, this did not just happen for the course of a day. So I had that McDonald's, and like I said, then that night I couldn't sleep. I don't know, I was having heartburn. I couldn't get it together. I ended up throwing up. This is my first time throwing up on the shot. First time throwing up on a shot. And at this point this was end of August or something like that is when this happened, or close right before August ended. Child, let me tell you something. I ended up throwing up, and when I say throwing up, I mean throwing up like 10 hours later, because remember, the medicine slows your digestive system. So everything that I had eaten earlier in that day was still sitting right here in my esophagus, burning me up. And so I ended up throwing it up, got it out of my system, but I did not recover from that, period. Did not recover from it. I ended up, like I said, getting Pepto. Thought that was going to do something. Started doing some research online, and it said try like a PPI. So I went and got some Nexium from the pharmacy. So I would take that, and that did help. That did help with the burning sensation in my throat, the acid coming up, but it did not take care of the mucus. Did not take care of the mucus at all. So I had to kind of just put a halt on things, on a lot of the things that I was eating. So I didn't eat spicy foods anymore. I no longer would eat dairy. I no longer would eat. I wasn't eating any more fried foods, and that was on period. Okay, wasn't eating any more fried foods. I wasn't really eating much of anything. I started eating applesauce and soup, anything that just would not just cause a riot within my digestive system. So things did start to get better. However, no, things got worse again. The acid came back. Acid in my throat came back. I got like a lump in my throat, and I felt like I couldn't really swallow. Plus it was mucus. So I called a doctor. They prescribed me a stronger PPI, and told me maybe try Zantac or something like that. So I started taking the PPI one a day. I mean, one in the morning, one at night, and that has helped too, along with me supplementing. meaning like taking all my vitamins. I'm taking D3, K2, B12, magnesium, gosh, I'm taking digestive enzymes. And that was one thing that I was not taking the entire time that I was taking my shot, which is what they say you should do. You should be taking the digestive enzymes because you want to be able to break down this food. You also have to eat super small meals, and I thought I was eating small meals, but let me tell you something. All I know is the last thing that to go since I've had this acid reflux bout is the mucus. So I'm still struggling with the post-nasal drip right now, which I think I'm getting under control. I hope I am getting it under control. It feels better than it did yesterday, and it definitely feels better than it did a couple days ago. Like, this has been an ongoing issue, you guys. This has been the absolute worst. This is why I have not been taking my shot. But I still been dropping weight because dealing with acid reflux, you kind of have to eat clean, because you can't have, because anything will upset your esophagus, and it's a whole ordeal. I'll make a whole nother video about acid reflux and pepsins and how it attacks your body and your system and your esophagus and all this stuff. Like, it is, when I tell you a whole science, like, it's a whole science. So anyway, I'm in a healing phase right now, so I haven't been taking my shot. Don't know if I'm gonna take my shot again, because initially I only wanted to lose, I'm not even gonna say only, because initially I wanted to lose 40 to 50 pounds. I'm already at 33 mark. So with the way I'm eating, I can eat with the way I'm eating, because it's very restrictive. I can probably get to the 40 if I recover fully. I may take the trizepatide shot to get down to a total of 50 pounds, but we'll see. This has been such an experience, and when I tell you, like, to have the acid in my throat, I didn't know what was going on with me. I thought I was going to lose my mind. I thought I was going to lose my life, okay? Like, my throat was burning. And this, I know I'm probably sounding like I'm exaggerating, but for someone that doesn't really get sick, this was like, what is going on? I started regretting everything. I started being like, oh my gosh, I should have never took this shot. I knew I was going to get something. I knew something was going to happen. But I'm claiming that all will be well, and that I'll keep on with the healing process of just getting all this together. Child, but let me tell you something. That's been the actual journey of taking the semaglutide shot, along with, like, you know, lifestyle changes or mental changes. Like, I know that having this new outlook on life as far as being slimmer, it changes the way you think. It changes the way you are, the way you act, the way you operate, because you don't necessarily want to do or consume the things that you used to. So for instance, like alcohol, like right now, I definitely need a drink, because all this acid reflux and all this mental emotional turmoil that I've been through, I would love me a cocktail. But prior to this, like, it limits the amount that you can drink. So if you were a big social drinker or whatever, you're not about to drink like that no more, especially after you have taken a shot so many times. Like, it's just almost like a turn off. Not only is it just a turn off, you also want to be safe, because you're really not supposed to drink while you're, I guess, like the first couple days after you taking your shot. Some people say they drink like the first 2 days. If I was going to have a beverage, I would take my shot on Monday, and I wouldn't drink until probably Friday, sometimes on Thursday. But I definitely wasn't drinking nowhere near as much as I used to. And so that, along with what I would used to indulge in as far as food, you know what I mean, I'm so much more conscious now of what I'm putting into my body, whereas before I would be conscious, but I would not be just literally looking at certain foods like, no, I'm not eating that, no, that's disgusting, no, that's no reason that I should eat that, or nobody else should be eating that. Like, not to say that you become judgy, but you're just so health conscious about what you're putting into your body. So that was one of the pros of the shot, you know what I mean? It just changes the way you think, which is a good thing, because that's how you got big anyway, because you needed to change the way you think. So this is pretty much my semaglutide journey thus far. Any questions you guys have, feel free to ask me, and of course I'll take some snaps so you guys can see exactly how I am looking. You can probably see it already up here in my shoulders, and like, my arms are significantly smaller. I need to raise this, so let's see. So you guys can see my arms are significantly smaller. My waist, my entire body is smaller, okay? My waist is not super small, but much smaller. Now, I love the way I look, okay? I definitely do. Yeah, so you guys can see my arms are significantly smaller, waist is significantly smaller. And that's one of the first things that I noticed. Of course, the inches go first before the weight. All in all, I am happy. I just want to be on the mend completely. I want to be completely healed so that I don't have to deal with this acid reflux any longer, you know what I mean? And today I feel good. Yesterday I felt better than days before. It's been, like I said, it's a recovery. And if you guys want to know more about the acid reflux experience and what I'm taking and how I'm healing myself, drop your questions below. But you guys, I definitely am happy that I did take the leap and take the shot. I will say, if you do decide to take the shot, just supplement up, meaning make sure you're taking your digestive enzymes so that it can break down the protein, so that it does not just sit in your esophagus and in your stomach and ferment, and then the acid build back up and push it back up. So just make sure you're taking your vitamins, make sure you are hydrating. Do not overhydrate, because too much of anything will send you into a tizzy, okay? Also, vitamins, B12, magnesium, D3, K2, what else? I think that's it. So digestive enzymes are so important. I cannot stress that enough. Digestive enzymes and making sure that you are not constipated. Make sure you are taking something, that magnesium, some smooth move tea. Just make sure you are taking something that will make you go to the bathroom. Don't hurt yourself. Don't go KO. It's not necessary. If you do have a little bout of acid reflux, you can always do a little bit of baking soda and water. But again, like the real deal acid reflux healing phase is a whole nother journey that I will have to share with you guys. But listen, do I regret the shot? I don't regret it, because I do love how I look. I also love how I feel. Not just as far as my weight loss, but I feel good. I feel lighter. I feel like myself. I feel like I can breathe. I am not lugging around all this excess weight. Like, health is wealth, and I mean that. Like, of course we want to look good and be vain and just be all in the vanity of it, but I feel better. I feel lighter. I feel like I can breathe, okay? I feel like I can breathe. And not that I couldn't breathe before, but like I said, I was taking these and I've never had to do that ever. So I hope that I can get down to my desired weight. So I started off at 199. I am currently at 166. Of course, you're going to fluctuate between a pound here and a pound there. So I'm at 166. I am wanting to get to 155. That's only 10 pounds. I would love to get to 150 and then just kind of maintain from there. We shall see. So stay tuned for my journey, you guys. Wish me luck. Pray for me and I'll pray for you, and I wish you luck. And if you are thinking about taking the shot, do your research, join the groups on Facebook, and just don't be scared. Just take the precautionary measures so that you can combat anything that may come up. That's the one thing that I wish I had been doing ahead of time, was taking my digestive enzymes. I'll link the ones that I actually like below. But yeah, and if you are leery of the semaglutide, try the tirzepatide. It is a little bit more expensive, but if you're struggling with your weight like I was or I have been, then this may be what you need to give you that boost. And let me tell you something, it does boost your confidence. It makes you feel like you used to feel. If you used to be really happy in your skin and something happened and you just went down this dark hole, kind of sort of like I did, because I had a lot going on, and I'll share those stories with you guys soon too. Coming out of that darkness and looking at yourself in the mirror and seeing glimpses of the old you will just make you so happy, and it boosts your confidence, and it just makes you want to just smile, and it makes you want to be better, and it makes you want to just continue to just get right, you know what I mean? So yeah, I'm Brett Can Do It Better. This is Life with Brett, and y'all, I hope that I just keep getting healthier and healthier, and I get to my desired weight. Stay with me, and I'll continue to share, and drop your questions below.